No one is talking about how the Calgary Flames' free agency plans have been executed flawlessly thus far. Craig Conroy has stuck to his guns and it has given the fan base hope. And in this video, we will examine the latest free agency signings for the Flames and how they can help achieve a prosperous future for the franchise. But before we get into all of that, I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I am Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family, but let's dive right into how this truly has been a perfect free agency thus far. I know we're only a few days into it, and the Flames have not splashed the cash really when it comes down to it, and that is a great thing. A couple days ago, we obviously had, free agency frenzy. The Flames signed Anthony Mantha. They brought back Lomberg and made a couple more signings here and there are a couple more that we will be talking about later in this video. But first, I just quickly wanted to take a look at an article from The Athletic. Julian MacKenzie, the Flames reporter there, of course, doing the writing on that one. And there were just a couple little snippets I want to take a look at that really do show that this free agency window has been so good for the Flames thus far. I feel like it's a perfect transfer window for anyone who's big into the footy, into soccer. They know that transfer windows, they obviously mean a lot. I feel like this has been just a perfect transfer window for the Flames, if you can call it that. But let's dive into this little quote here. So it's the ideal strategy for a team that wants to give as many opportunities to its young players while still being able to surround them with capable veterans. He still has tons of cap flexibility to play with, holding almost $21 million in cap space according to Cap Friendly. This, of course, is after the signings made thus far, and this, of course, is obviously alluding to the fact of the Flames haven't, signed any huge contracts with big term or even big AAVs really when it comes down to it. If the veterans pan out, this is, really looking at kind of the Mantha, Lomberg, Jake Bean sort of thing. They can become tradable assets down the road or could always remain on digestible, shout out to us, contracts. More importantly, the Flames won't be in cap trouble in future seasons, and that is what is most important. That has been the plan executed perfectly by Craig Conroy, because we all know our former GM loved to splash out some huge contracts, and that really can put you in a bind when it comes down to it. But one quote I loved from the man himself, Connie, that I would love to show you guys is this one here. This is from Conroy. If you lock into a long-term deal and there isn't chemistry or it's not a fit here in Calgary, then you're just kind of in a tough spot, Conroy said. That is almost him taking shots at Brad Treliving, at Boston Pizza Jr. Him saying, look, he dished out some contracts, and we love Jonathan Huberdeau. We really do. We hope everything pans out. Thus far, he has a huge long-term deal. It's taking up a lot of cap space, and the chemistry hasn't been there yet, and it hasn't been a great fit, and it has put the Flames in a bind. That summer after Gaudreau left, Tkachuk got traded, the Flames almost then were ready to enter rebuild mode. I know the next season the Flames should have made the playoffs if Daryl Sutter didn't just love the Daryl Sutter point. The Flames didn't lose pretty much 82 games in overtime that season and put out Nick Ritchie with the season on the line. But either way, I love that Conroy is sticking to this, not, doing what past people would have done and dished out these huge contracts just to stay somewhat competitive. It doesn't help. Conroy is here for the rebuild, and we are here for all of that. So let's quickly get into the signings that I missed in the video a couple days ago. None of them are massive, but they are a little bit fun. And the first one, of course, is Frk Yeah! If you didn't see, the Flames signed Martin Frk, of all people, to a two-way contract, which is super cool. If we look here, there you go. Martin Frk signed this from the Flames Instagram account saying, adding forward depth, the Flames have signed Martin Frk to a one-year, two-way contract, which of course is great. It really doesn't take a big hit at the salary cap at all, or into the cap space, I should say, which is just fantastic. It's a good forward to have in dire need if we do need him up at the NHL level. That being said, I'm assuming he will mostly be playing at the AHL level, which is great again as well. He is a bit of a veteran now, so I'm sure he can provide some sort of guidance and leadership to some of the younger guys that will be in the AHL this season and not going up to the NHL level. But either way, we all know that he's capable of one of the hardest shots ever. Imagine if we still had Michael Stone and Martin Frk to run our second power play unit. That's a combined, what, 200 miles per hour worth of slap shots right there. Oh, baby, that is just naughty to think about. But Martin Frk, the man with the super hard shot, he's here. And what do we do on Flames Digest? Well, we always like to dive into some of the stats. So this is his kind of NHL stat level. So if you look at the very bottom there in the blue, he has played 124 NHL games, posting 20 goals, 21 assists, 41 points. You know, not the greatest stat line. He's such a fringe NHLer over the past few years. Well, he hasn't been in the NHL in quite a few seasons now. But either way, his last NHL action was as an LA King in 2021-22 when he got 2 goals in 6 games. Not bad at all. That's great pacing for a good season right there worth of goals. And either way, you know, we know what he's capable of. Mostly, it's just that he has one of the most fun names in the entire NHL. There's so many puns waiting to be written about the FRK, and we're happy to welcome him here to Calgary. Not bad stats. Don't think he'll play much at the NHL level. Would rather give the opportunity to the young guys, but not a bad guy to have around at all. Now, if we get into the other ones, there were some more depth adds made by good old Craigie, and they're not too bad. Again, they probably won't affect the NHL level all that much, but it's cool to have. And we start between the pipes with the Flames signing Devin Cooley once again. Too cool. The Flames have signed goaltender Devin Cooley to a 2-year deal. Don't know how much he will play at the NHL level. Again, you know, we do have Dustin Wolf who will take the reins. We got Dan Vladar to back him up if he's healthy. Cooley is just there to be, you know, another third one. Whether he'll be at the AHL level, the NHL level, who knows? He's also pretty young, so he could turn into something. However, he doesn't have the craziest stats I've ever seen in my life. If I can pull up the right ones here, I think it's this button. Yes, sir. He has 6 games of NHL experience last year for the lowly San Jose Sharks. And for a team that didn't win all that much, he was able, again, if you look at the blue at the bottom there, he had a 2-3-1 record in 6 games, which for that San Jose team is something to be happy about. However, the .870 save percentage and the 4.98 goals against average are nothing to brag about. I can't believe he won a couple games with stats like that, but we know he was in a bad spot. The Flames won't be the most, you know, uplifting spot either for his statistics. And whether he's with the Wranglers or the Flames, again, not the worst guy to have around. It's very cheap. Just another good depth signing here by Connie. Now, if we head into the last signing that was made, this one really won't affect the NHL level, but still, good guy to have around. It's Jonathan Asperot, who kind of turned it on towards the end of the season down in the AHL, and he doesn't have any NHL experience thus far, but again, a great guy to have around. He's an AHL vet at this point, and if you look here from the Flames again, staying in YYC, the Flames have signed defenseman Jonathan Asperot to a 1-year, 2-way contract, and the big thing, of course, here is that when I'm about to show you the stats, keep in mind this guy is a defenseman. Don't expect him to be producing all that many points, but either way, a great guy to have around. Like I said, he was kind of turning it up a bit towards the end of that AHL season. You know, I would listen to some of the games on the radio and stuff, and his name always came up. It seemed like he was always on the ice, making a positive impact. So if we get into the stats here, like I said, he's never broken out to the NHL level yet, but he has played the last 5 seasons in the AHL, 4 of those for the Belleville Senators. And like I said before, the stats aren't going to be crazy, not even a point every other game. But either way, you know, not the worst stats. He had 33 points actually with the Wranglers in 66 games last season, which is a point every other game. Not bad for a defenseman he is known for his offensive game a little bit, but more so just known as kind of a bog standard defenseman. Not bad stats at all. Again, just a great guy to have around. The one thing that's crazy there was a -46 for the Moncton Wildcats in 2016-17. My goodness, he must have been playing pretty much every single minute. I don't know my QMJHL history, but I'm assuming the Wildcats weren't all that great that year. But either way, again, great guy to have around. I don't hate it. I'm so happy with these depth signings and just the way free agency has gone thus far for the Flames. They still have tons of cap space. Will they sign someone big? I doubt it. It doesn't fit into the plans, but that would be exciting anyway. Of course, we will just see what happens. But as of now, if that's it for us in free agency, I'm also okay with that. Now let's wrap up this video with the comment of the day, everyone's favorite part of the video. And this one has to go with the free agency and what has happened so far, and of course has to do with the somewhat puzzling signing of Anthony Mantha. At first I thought, why are we doing this? But then of course you can just flip him at the deadline and maybe he will rejuvenate certain players within the franchise, as it says in this comment here from Jason. He said, so apparently There is a Hubie-Mantha connection. They've trained together the last few off seasons. Either he lights a fire under Hubie's booty with the French connection, or we flip him at the deadline for assets. We have to hit the cap floor anyways. No harm, no foul. It truly was a very brilliant signing since it was for only 1 year. 3.5 mil, I know that's quite a bit for a player like that, but that doesn't matter. We have so much cap space. It's totally fine. That is definitely a tradable contract as well. We probably won't have to retain anything, and if we do, you just get more back. So we'll just have to see how that one pans out, but so far free agency truly has been brilliant. It's exciting times for Flames fans with that great draft and now some good free agency so far. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe if you like what you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.